From the outside, Microsoft in the early 2000s was the picture of a tech titan, global, wealthy, and dominant. But behind the curtain of its public triumphs, a corrosive internal culture was steering the ship toward irrelevance. This is the story of how a deep-seated culture of internal competition and a fixed mindset, not a lack of smart people or good ideas, dictated their decade of stagnation and their stunning comeback. This mindset didn't appear overnight. It was forged in the fires of Microsoft's early battles, from crushing competitors to facing a monumental antitrust trial. The company developed a siege mentality, a belief that they were the rightful rulers of the digital world and that everyone else was a threat. This culture was brutally enforced by a management tool called stack ranking, which forced managers to grade employees on a curve, pitting them against each other in a fight for survival. In this environment, you were either a star or you were out. Collaboration was a risk. Hoarding knowledge and claiming credit was a strategy. This institutionalized what psychologist Carol Dweck calls a fixed mindset, the belief that intelligence is a finite resource you must constantly prove, rather than a quality that can be grown. The company's core operating system was no longer just Windows. It was a psychological code of be the smartest, or be left behind. This fixed mindset created a vicious, self-reinforcing loop. Brilliant engineers, terrified of being seen as weak, would dismiss outside trends and market feedback that challenged their worldview. This confirmation bias led to products like the Zune and Windows Phone, technically competent but culturally tone-deaf because the culture could not truly listen or learn. It was a spiral of its own making. The appointment of Satya Nadella as CEO in 2014 marked a deliberate psychological intervention. His first act was not to unveil a new product, but to publish a memo calling for rediscovery of the company's soul, emphasizing empathy and a learn-it-all culture over a know-it-all one. He dismantled stack ranking. He spoke vulnerably about the profound lessons in empathy he learned from raising a son with disabilities. He reframed empathy not as a soft HR slogan, but as the essential engine for understanding customer needs and building truly useful technology. He was systematically replacing the company's fixed mindset with a growth mindset, creating a new positive loop where learning from failure and collaborating across silos became the new path to success. The ultimate test of this new psychological framework was Microsoft's undeniable failure in the mobile market. The old Microsoft, driven by its fixed mindset and titanium-clad ego, would have doubled down, spending billions to prove it was still right to force its vision on the world. But Nadella's Microsoft, armed with its new growth mindset, did the psychologically profound thing. It accepted reality. It conceded the mobile OS war. In a stunning strategic pivot, it embraced its new identity as a collaborator and enabler, putting its flagship software, Office, on competing platforms like iOS and Android. The company's ultimate bet, Azure Cloud, was the physical manifestation of this psychological shift, a business not about dominating the user's screen, but about empowering every other company, even its rivals, to build their own dreams. The confrontation wasn't with Apple or Google. It was with their own past identity, and they won. The meteoric rise in Microsoft's value and relevance was not the cause of its revival, but the proof of it. The true transformation was internal, a rewrite of its core psychological code from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset, fueled by the strategic power of empathy. The story of Microsoft teaches us that before you can build a powerful enterprise or a fulfilling life, you must first examine the architecture of your own mind. What is the hidden code running your decisions? What's one limiting story you're telling yourself about your own capabilities? Unpack it in the comments. And if you're ready to upgrade your mindset, subscribe for more stories that change the way you think.